Hello, everyone. This is Sharif Awad from Ontario International Film Festival. I'm very happy to welcome the cast and director of John 316, the opening film, which is also competing in the long competition. Welcoming Jarvis Greiner, writer-director of the film, and aftonrentz, Raymond Joshi, Colin Matty, John Evans, Neil Chase, and who's joining us as well?
Oh, there's Afton. Hi, Afton.
Hey.
Hello. I am very happy to welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I want to start very fast with Jarvis. How did you conceive this idea for the film?
Well, it would have started originally with I came back to Edmonton and I connected with a writer named Brandon Reines, who had a script called John 316. It ended up becoming kind of a collaboration. We took that script and we made it ours together. But he had come up with the original script and all the characters came from his head. And then we kind of elaborated and kind of put in kind of the notes that were important to me. And I think we came up with something pretty cool.
Yes, excellent. And Jarvis, tell me, did you have any difficulties in financing the film and casting it?
Oh yeah, like we definitely took our time casting. You know, that was an important when you have a character drama like this. You know, it's nothing without the characters. So we definitely took our time getting casting in place. It definitely was many months. Financing wise, you know, we had some financiers bail on us kind of last second, which was unfortunate. We ended up losing about 30% of our budget about 2 or 3 months before we started rolling. So we had to make some concessions, and a lot of that fell on the cast and crew. And without their sacrifices, the movie wouldn't have happened. It would definitely had a trying time in there, and I'm glad everyone stuck with me while we did it.
Yes. Afron, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You play Abby in the film. Tell me what did interest you in accepting this role and how did you prepare it?
Thank you. Well, I have a bit of a special relationship with the medical profession. My sister is currently in medical school, and so I think, you know, every actor out there, you know, has an interest in sociology and psychology and how people work and why they do what they do. And so to pursue that in Abby was such an interesting challenge, and it was definitely something I loved researching, something I was very excited, interested to research in preparation. And when it came to character work for her, I think one of the most useful preparations that I did was do definitely a deep dive into what it's like to work with you know, people who have psychological conditions, people who have like mental health, are struggling with their mental health, and that makes them not able to live in society as we have constructed it. And so learning about how those people might view the world, learning about different viewpoints that they experience was helpful for me, because she goes through that evolution herself, like because she doesn't see it, and she's impatient, and she wants people to understand the world the way that she sees it, but at the end of the day, that's not her job, and that it's not something that any of us can expect as humans either. So for me, that was for sure my favorite part. It was a dream to research. It was some of my favorite research and study for sure for a character.
Thank you. I want to ask Colin. How are you, Colin?
Very fine, Sharif. Thanks for having us.
Are you in character? You seem quiet.
No. Is my mic on? Am I too quiet?
Go ask a question.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having us, Sharif.
You're welcome. I want to ask you really, how do you prepare for a role like a Jesus-like role like that? How do you research such role?
It was an interesting process for me. When Jarvis first when I first met Jarvis during the audition, and he gave me a call a little later on, inviting me to be a part of the project. After we sat down and chatted for that first time, one of the things that really jumped out to me was this old notion of Lord Liar Lunatic, which is out of C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity, where he's talking, his basically argument that he makes in that is that, Jesus was either telling the truth, in which case he's the Lord, he's a liar, a con man, or he's just straight up lunatic. There's something very intriguing about the various sort of cults of personality that will spring up. There are some people in the world that simply have a bearing or a demeanor that that changes a room when they walk into it. And I was very flattered in many ways to be able to play this person that, obviously physically I've kind of got a Jesus thing going on, what with the beard and the hair, but it was an interesting challenge to figure out what exactly it is in the demeanor that gives one that, I guess, sort of a sense of conviction in one's beliefs, whether or not they are founded in reality or not. So as far as preparation for the role goes, there was a lot of conversation, a lot of just sort of talking about the film itself. Is John, in fact, some variety of divine being? If he is, where does that line go? And all in all, I found it to be relatively straightforward, because I think the thing that what's the word that sort of draws me to the character is this notion that he has a rock solid view of the world, kind of like what Afton was saying about Abby, and whether or not it is correct, he moves through life with that worldview and enriches the lives of those around him. So it was almost like coming to the realization that conviction is almost more important than validity. So towing that line was a really great challenge for me during the process.
Yeah, great. John, tell me about your participation in the film. How did you find it?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It was a great experience. Jarvis was kind enough to kind of let me fill in a few of the blanks with my character. It was so what I'd kind of settled on is that he's got some rage issues, but ultimately what he was working through was pyromania, which is what kind of had manifested through this rage, and through the therapy. The way he had focused this pyromania was through his smoking, through the cigarette. This was his focus, his conduit, or the allowable pyromania that could be manifested or at least displayed in the public view. So it was fun to experiment with that and explore that, as well as it's a joy. It's odd to say, but it's a joy to play a character that doesn't speak a lot. It's a unique challenge to emote without line, but also try not to steal focus at the same time. So it was a fun challenge and a neat scene study to be able to perform without speaking, which I really enjoyed. Everyone on set was very, very professional. very well organized. Yeah, it was a wonderful project. It was a warm summer, but it was it was fun to shoot.
Great. Neil, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Tell us, how did you find the script for the film, and really, do we need such script? I mean, the script and the movie. Did it come at the right time right now for audience to experience?
I think so. It's a wonderful script. As Jarvis mentioned, it was, as I understand it, it was a script that was first written by an Edmonton writer named Brandon Ryan, and then with it, and they rewrote it together to what it is now. And yeah, I found it a pleasure to read. It was funny. It was touching. It was sad in places, you know, it hit all the right beats that it needed to hit. When I got involved with it, one of the things that struck me about it was it had a sensibility that was similar to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a movie that I just absolutely loved. And likewise, you know, that's kind of what drew me to the character that I played, Bill Johnson. Much like Jack Nicholson is a character in that film pretending to be crazy so that he doesn't have to serve out a prison sentence. My character is almost the polar opposite of that. It's somebody who does have, you know, mental issues, but he's lost himself in a world of fantasy where he's convinced himself that he's not. And in doing so, it was a layered challenge, because it's a guy who's crazy, who's convinced himself that he's not crazy, pretending to be crazy in a way that he thinks crazy people should act when viewed by others. So yeah, when you throw all those layers on top of each other, it was immediate to me that this is going to be a challenging role to take on, and a really fun one at the same time. There's a lot of nuances, and I found that just in the script overall. There are so many phenomenal actors in this script, and the characters are so different and varied from one another that it really allowed the entire ensemble to shine. And at heart, that's really thanks to both the script and to Jarvis's amazing direction.
Yes, great. Jarvis, I want to ask you about the shooting location. Where did you shoot the film, and for how many days did you shoot it?
So we were lucky enough to shoot at the Alberta Hospital, which is an actual active mental hospital that had some wings that they weren't currently in use. And we were able to collaborate with the hospital in terms of using those. And it was very, very helpful. We shot any of the exteriors. We shot in Alberta Beach. So all of it is shot in northern Alberta. And yeah, it was, I don't think it would have been tough to, you know, duplicate a setting like that in a place that wasn't real. So we really appreciate their collaboration. And yeah, like it was truly a unique experience, because I think we might have met a few people that thought they were Jesus at the hospital. So because I hear people smoking and I hear the stories. It was an interesting experience, but I'm sure for the cast and crew shooting at a place like that.
Yes, but I can see so far that the film was screened in several festivals before us, and already it got several awards. Did you predict it will receive such acclaim and importance so far?
Well, you know, I believed in the story. I did. I've always believed in the story. When I first read the script, I believed in the potential for it right from the beginning. I just really wanted to make a movie that, you know, had that wasn't just meaning, you know, it wasn't just art, but it was also entertaining and funny and kind of a little genre-less, you know, and something that I feel has a wide audience because everyone can enjoy the topics involved. And you know, to make a movie like this, the thing for me is I really wanted to make a movie that both, you know, religious people and atheistic people could look at and both get. You know, so I understand that. And you know, people don't switch sides on that, but they do come closer. And in a movie like this, where if I can get it in front of a wide enough audience, you know, I think can make real change. And doing it in a way that you know, just people can have peace and understanding of each other, but do it in a way that you know, that's just a fun. You know, people can watch it and just enjoy an entertaining movie. And you know, it's really a credit to, you know, the actors that we had involved. You know, I really had the right team. And you know, I felt really good about it through the whole shooting, and you know, the fact that it's being well received is a credit to them, and I'm really happy that we're able to have this together.
Great. Afton, I want to ask you about the feedback you received for the film so far.
Yeah. From any group in particular? Or
Yes.
Really? I think the feedback I've received the most is definitely in the realm of the locations, in the realm of the director of photography, the purely sort of the cinematic picture of it, and that's thanks, you know, in part to Jarvis, but then also in part to Chase Gardner, who is our DOP. For me, a lot of the response, a lot of the feedback, especially, you know, because we're in Alberta, people are taken aback by the quality of the picture, of the quality of the editing, of the color grading, of the location, of the style of the film cinematically. And I know that for myself personally, I was taken aback by that. Not taken aback, but I mean, you know, it's one thing to be there and to visualize, to see what you imagine it's going to look like, to see the scenery, to know, you know, what you're going for with the shot. But it's quite another to see it in sort of all its cinematic glory after editing, after color grading, and all that. And so the response, the feedback has been, you know, where did you shoot that? Where were you? Where did you go? Where did you travel to? A lot of people are surprised that this took place in Alberta, took place in my backyard. I stayed at my parents' house while we were filming this.
Yes.
And so that's definitely by far, you know, in addition to praise for the story, praise for character, praise for the actors, and all of that. You know, believe me, there's a lot of feedback for as well. But generally speaking, what I hear the most is how professional, how beautiful, how stunning the cinematography is, and how professional the film looks. You know, when compared to other films people see in theaters, especially indie films, you know, that don't have the highest budgets, that aren't shooting in studio, that are shooting a lot on location. I definitely think it stacks up. Like I was personally impressed, and that's sort of shown through what people have you know, chosen to tell me about it.
Great. Colin, do you have any other project you're preparing?
Yes, actually. I had just finished filming this past weekend for a new project called The Curio Shop that was created by the folks at Catch the Keys Productions here in Edmonton. And it's ordinarily we do a show called Dead Center of Town where we tell true horror from Edmonton's past. John Evans is actually pretty heavily involved with that as well. But because we're not doing anything in person right now, they've moved the whole thing online, and the premise is that you can haunt your own home with a digital nightmare. And it's half choose your own adventure, half the call is coming from within the house. I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And the other one is since I guess this whole situation began with the coronavirus back in April, I have been nightly streaming bedtime stories on Twitch at twitch.tv/brotherbedtime. And that's Monday through Thursday. And I've been doing, we've read through the whole Chronicles of Narnia, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and we are currently about 12 chapters through Bram Stoker's Dracula. So if you're in the mood for some spooky narration, feel free to check me out there. Once again, that's The Curio Shop with Catch the Keys Productions and twitch.tv/brotherbedtime for bedtime stories Monday through Thursday.
Excellent. Nice promotion.
Thanks for the opportunity.
John, are you planning to do a duet with Colin, starring in everything he's...
A duet? Yeah. I mean, I would be honored and delighted if Colin would like to do that. That's the nice thing about the Edmonton arts community, is it is a very tight-knit and strong family. So things like doing John 3:16 with him was a delight, because we've done Dead Center of Town together for, gosh, I believe a decade now, or around that. So it's nice to see friends and collaborate with them on different projects and see them climb into different skins and be different people. So yeah, no, I would be delighted to work with any of these people again. It was a wonderful experience that I'd happily recreate in a different environment.
And are you preparing any other projects for the next period?
I did just finish doing, my wife and I moonlight as escape room designers. So I did a co-pro design for Dark for Fort Edmonton Park and Escape City to do with a virtual escape room they're doing, which seems like a very intriguing perspective. So instead of you climbing into the escape room, there's the employee and basically wearing a GoPro, and you're on your computer being like, turn left, turn that door, or open that doorknob, lift up that glass so I can see what's underneath. So I think COVID, as much as it's limited the arts community, I think it's also caused a lot of imagination to flourish and to think creatively even further outside the box than our community is used to doing. Sometimes out of necessity, sometimes out of, I am bored and I need to do something creative. So yeah, I'm excited to see. What transpires here with that.
Excellent. Neil, are you preparing some new stuff as well?
I am actually, yes. We've just finished a little Halloween short that I wrote and had the pleasure of starring in, called Boneyard Racers. It's a wonderful little story about a teenage couple who get pulled into a Halloween drag race against some spooky characters that they don't realize aren't just people in costume. So it's kind of like Devil Went Down to Georgia meets The Fast and the Furious. It's a wonderful little short. It's got great visuals, fantastic music by a local band called, oh my gosh, here I am blanking on their name. I can't believe that just happened. Oh, Punch Drunk Cabaret. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're wonderful. They're wonderful guys. They provided music for the short, and they actually play a number in the short. And we've got some wonderful cars from a 1978 25th anniversary Corvette to this beautiful 1960 3, I want to say. Cadillac Hearse. Those are the two star cars for the film, and then there's a whole slew of others. We've got some 1930s roadsters. I think there's a Chevelle in there somewhere from the 70s, like just gorgeous, and lots of great characters. So that's going to be coming out soon. And the other thing that I've got on my plate is I just made an announcement about it today, actually, is that a novel that I wrote called Iron Dogs. It's a Western horror that's been doing rather well, actually, on the award circuit. We have just finished the audiobook for it that I'm narrating. A friend of mine by the name of David Heacock directed it and provided music and editing and the Foley effects for it as well. So that's going to be coming out before Halloween here. And so 2 pretty exciting projects I'm proud to be part of.
Excellent. Happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween.
And Afton, are you preparing a new project after John 316?
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a bit on the go. I think partially because the summer, wasn't able to sort of be utilized as it usually is. Unfortunately, I can't say too much. A TV series in Montreal is coming hopefully November, a bit up in the air, and then a feature in Southern Alberta as well, probably November, December. But again, everything's sort of up in the air for the moment. Can't say too much, but definitely using the time, in waiting out scheduling, waiting out changes in shooting dates and changes in contract dates and things like that. It's been very lovely to start writing myself, which is great. There are a few sort of like promotional shoots that I have coming up for those scripts. That's very exciting. So I get to sort of dive into those characters before they get cast, which for a writer is, and especially an actor or writer, it's very informative. It can, be a little indulgent because these characters came from you and they came from your ideas. And so to be able to sort of inhabit them first is like a kind of a funny artistic indulgence, I guess. But yeah, nothing I can pin a name on right now, unfortunately. But yeah, very, very excited nonetheless. Diversifying and changing, experimenting with different mediums is always, something that as a performer, as a creator, you always need to be doing. Much like Neil with writing a novel. What's that? Where did that come from? But it comes from the same place. So yeah, crossing my fingers for something more concrete. Yes. It is what it is. The world is what it is right now.
Yes. Jarvis, I want to ask you, are there any future screening of John 316 after Ontario Festival?
Yeah, it's actually screening tomorrow in Red Deer at the Central Alberta Film Festival. It's going to be playing at Action on Film in Vegas for sure as well as the New West Fest in New Westminster, BC. And we're hoping that maybe a couple more along the route. I think that the idea is to get as many eyeballs on it as possible. So we'll keep putting in places, and any province that doesn't have a screening yet, we'll try and get one to them. So this won't be the last festival that we do for sure.
Good, great. But do you have any, theatrical release or streaming plans in the future after the festival circuit,
We do have, we are in negotiations with a company to purchase our film, which is awesome. We also have,
Congratulations.
yes?
Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations.
well, I'm not going to count my chickens yet. No, the plan is, you know, we want to have a limited release of some kind, you know, COVID willing, obviously. You know, there are many ways that this film can get out there, and we plan to explore them all here within the year. But we're very early on in our festival run, and the last thing I want to do is limit its ceiling. So we're going to spend our time and do our due diligence and try and bring John 3:16 to as many people as possible.
Great. Finally, I want to thank you all. I want to thank Jarvis Greiner, writer-director of John 3:16, and the stars Afton Rentz, Riemann Joshi, Colin Matty, John Evans, Neil Chase for joining us live. Thank you very, very much. Best wishes for John 3:16 and its screening round up and its streaming plans, and also best wishes from me and myself and the whole festival team for your upcoming projects. And we hope to see you again with other creative films and works and novels. And thank you very much. This is the first Q&A in the festival, so I want to thank you again. And for all the viewers, they can check out John 3:16 on the festival platform, eventive.org, and also the audience can vote for the audience award as well when seeing the film. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us, Sharif.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.